But I remember everything.
Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the most notable song covers with a fresh, innovative twist that managed to retain the spirit of the original while creating something entirely unique.
Some silicone sister with the manager mister told me you got what it takes.
Number 20. Everybody Wants to Rule the World, Lorde, originally by Tears for Fears. The original version of this song tackles themes of corruption and humanity's relentless thirst for power.
Welcome to your life.
It's a message that stood the test of time, resonating as much in the Cold War era when the tune was released, as it did in 2013 when Lorde reimagined it for the soundtrack of The Hunger Games: Catching Fire.
Even while we sleep.
While Tears for Fears masked their grim commentary with upbeat instrumentals, Lorde fully leaned into the dark atmosphere of the song, delivering each line with a haunting cadence.
Turn your back on Mother Nature.
In her version, the groovy, infectious beats were swapped for ominous percussion that perfectly captured the twisted dystopian world of The Hunger Games. Number 19. Heartless, The Fray, originally by Kanye West. It's hard to imagine what Kanye West's Heartless would sound like without the auto-tune, heavy percussion, and synthesizers.
In the night I hear him talk, the coldest story ever told.
But if you're struggling to picture it, rock band The Fray offers a clear view with their cover.
Somewhere far along this road, lost the soul.
Like the original, their version is still a ballad, although it strips the production down to its core, emphasizing lead singer Isaac Slade's raw, breathy vocals. It's a vastly different atmosphere, yet it remains just as emotionally charged.
Talk, baby, let's just knock it off.
While West's use of auto-tune and synths brought an innovative perspective, The Fray's more traditional arrangement let the emotions shine through, creating a powerful interpretation that stands on its own.
Could you be so heartless?
Number 18. Get Lucky, Daughter, originally by Daft Punk, featuring Pharrell Williams and Nile Rodgers. By now, just about everyone has grooved to Daft Punk's 2013 hit Get Lucky, a song that dominated dance floors around the world and became an instant classic.
Like the legend of the Phoenix, all ends with beginnings.
While countless covers have surfaced over the years, none stands out quite like that of indie folk band Daughter.
What keeps the planet spinning? The force of love beginning.
It's a haunting rendition that flips the original's carefree ode to casual fun into a more dramatic tale, perhaps one of heartbreak, and trying to get lucky to numb the pain.
'Cause we come too far to give up.
It's fascinating how the song's meaning drastically changes even though the lyrics stay the same. And that's all thanks to the moody, restrained vocals, layered over sparse bass thumps that leave you wishing the song would just never end.
We're up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to get lucky.
Number 17. You Keep Me Hangin' On, Kim Wilde, originally by The Supremes. Throughout history, only a few songs have managed to top the Billboard Hot 100 twice, each time by a different musical act. You Keep Me Hangin' On is one of those rare few. Originally recorded by The Supremes, this Motown track already had a unique psychedelic rock vibe. But 20 years later, English pop singer Kim Wilde gave it a total makeover, turning it into an up-tempo disco anthem that perfectly encapsulated the dance-crazed spirit of the 80s. The production here is intentionally heavy, drowning the Supremes' lament about a lingering lover in a sea of percussive guitars and explosive synths. It may sound radically different, but it rode the same wave as its predecessor, right to the top of the charts. Number 16. Smooth Criminal, Alien Ant Farm, originally by Michael Jackson. What started as a playful warm-up jam before gigs morphed into an iconic punk rock twist on a timeless classic. Michael Jackson's 1988 hit Smooth Criminal was a sleek pop track driven by the king of pop's signature groove. But in the early 2000s, a little-known act called Alien Ant Farm took the song and cranked the energy up to 11. The band's version replaced the smooth pop sheen with heavy guitar riffs, punchy drums, and a faster tempo, giving the song a rebellious edge. The Criminal was no longer smooth. He had gone full-on angsty. Alien Ant Farm's cover not only became a massive hit, it also secured its place in pop culture with its tongue-in-cheek, Michael Jackson-inspired music video.
You've been struck by a smooth criminal.
Number 15. Mad World. Michael Andrews featuring Gary Jules, originally by Tears for Fears. The 80s were populated by songs that paired dark lyrics with upbeat, dance-floor-ready production, and Mad World was no exception.
All around me are familiar faces, worn-out places, worn-out faces.
Nearly 2 decades after its release, director Richard Kelly enlisted Michael Andrews and Gary Jules to reimagine the Tears for Fears classic for his film Donnie Darko.
Bright and early for their daily races, going nowhere, going nowhere.
What emerged was a haunting rendition that pieced the song apart and brought it together with just a piano and Jules' somber vocals. The minimalist approach transformed Mad World from a danceable track into a melancholy ballad, bringing those dark themes into sharp focus.
And I find it kind of funny, I find it kind of sad.
After appearing on the Donnie Darko soundtrack, the cover was released as a single in 2003 and snagged the Christmas #1 spot in the UK. Number 14. The Sound of Silence. Disturbed. Originally by Simon & Garfunkel. Inspired by childhood memories of the sound of silence echoing through his home,
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Mike Wengren, drummer of the heavy metal band Disturbed, suggested they cover it.
I've come to talk with you again.
The band was determined to put their own spin on it, but decided to trade their signature sound for something more subdued. The gamble paid off. Disturbed's cover takes the iconic folk tune and revamps it into a powerful, brooding anthem.
People talking without speaking.
Unlike the original's gentle acoustic sound, this version is dark and intense, with lead singer David Draymond's deep vocals soaring over a heavy orchestral backdrop. It became a huge success for the band, earning not only a Grammy nomination and millions of streams, but a seal of approval from Paul Simon himself.
Disturb the sound of silence.
Number 13. I Will Always Love You. Whitney Houston. Originally by Dolly Parton. When a cover of a song becomes so famous that most people don't even know it's a cover, you know something special has happened.
If I should stay,
That's exactly the case with Whitney Houston's rendition of I Will Always Love You.
so I'll go, but I know.
But that's not to take anything away from Dolly Parton's original recording. Her tender, solemn voice was perfect for the country ballad. However, Houston's powerhouse vocals and the sweeping orchestration completely transformed the track, adding an emotional punch that gave it a whole new meaning. It's almost like a different song altogether. This cover, featured on the soundtrack of Houston's film debut The Bodyguard, became a global sensation and remains one of the best-selling singles of all time. Number 12. Nothing Compares to You. Sinead O'Connor. Originally by The Family. In 1985, music icon Prince recorded a song titled Nothing Compares to You for his side project The Family, which was featured on their sole self-titled album.
It's been 7 hours and 13 days.
The song was never released as a single and would probably have remained forgotten as a deep cut if not for Sinead O'Connor.
Since you took your love away.
The Irish singer-songwriter reworked the track for her sophomore album, stripping it down from its funky, understated vibe to emphasize the emotion at its center.
I can eat my dinner in a fancy restaurant.
O'Connor's evocative voice, paired with a minimalistic arrangement of strings and percussion, brought the heartbreak in the lyrics to life. This approach gave the tune an entirely new identity and catapulted it from its little-known status into a worldwide hit.
Nothing compares. Nothing compares to you.
Number 11, With a Little Help from My Friends, Joe Cocker, originally by the Beatles. Over his 43-year career, Joe Cocker was beloved for his cover songs, most of which elevated their source material into something extraordinary. The first cover that shot him to fame was the Beatles' 1967 tune With a Little Help from My Friends.
Would you think if I sang out a tune, would you stand up and walk out on me?
For his version, Cocker slowed down the tempo, infused it with gritty vocals, and added a gospel-inspired backing choir, all of which transformed the upbeat pop tune into a soulful anthem drenched in blues.
Gonna try with a little help from my friend.
As if that wasn't enough, he threw in some electrifying guitar work from Led Zeppelin's Jimmy Page. This bold reinterpretation earned high praise from Paul McCartney and became Cocker's signature performance, especially after his legendary Woodstock appearance in 1969.
You gotta get on to your friend.
Number 10, Boys in the Hood, Dynamite Hack, originally by Eazy-E. Dynamite Hack's cover is a mellow and acoustic arrangement of Eazy-E's gangster rap classic Boys in the Hood.
Woke up quick at about noon, just thought that I had to be in Compton soon.
Here reimagined with more than a little bit of post-grunge irony.
I gotta get drunk before the day begins, before my mother starts bitching about my friend.
In place of Eazy-E's gritty delivery and hard-hitting beats, Dynamite Hack turned the track into a laid-back acoustic soft rock version.
'Cause the boys in the hood are always hard. Come talking that trash and we'll pull your card.
But the real key to the band's success is the monotone delivery of the lead vocals matched with all the original's gruff and boisterous bravado, which provides the comedic punch and timing needed to make this genre-bending cover a hit.
Knowing nothing in life but to be legit. Don't quote me, boy, I ain't said shit.
Number 9, Smells Like Teen Spirit, Tori Amos, originally by Nirvana. Singer-songwriter Tori Amos is no stranger to releasing inventive, unique cover versions of artists as diverse as Eminem, R.E.M., and Slayer. Yet it's this 1992 version of Nirvana's Smells Like Teen Spirit that really strips down the original's arrangement and essence to its basic, memorable vocal melody.
It's fun to lose and to pretend.
Amos's passionate, sensual vocals are set on full display here, as is her evocative and haunting piano playing, which punches each chord with a charged, palpable energy.
With the lights on, it's less dangerous.
If intense headbanging and rough vocals are not your scene, you might just enjoy this powerful rendition instead. Number 8, Gin and Juice, The Gourds, originally by Snoop Dogg. Ever wonder what it would sound like if a bluegrass band decided to cover Snoop Dogg's classic Gin and Juice?
With so much drama in the LBC, it's kinda hard being Snoop D-O-double-G.
Well, look no further than The Gourds.
But I somehow, somewhere.
Complete with violin scratches, mandolins, and accented southern twang instead of beats and bass. The Gourds don't stray far at all from their musical roots, instead adopting the original's lyrics into their own upbeat musical arrangements, which fit in just fine with their swinging country roots rock.
I got me some Seagram's gin, everybody got their cup, but they ain't chipped in.
Shortly after its release, their cover eventually reached the ears of Snoop D-O-double-G himself, who gave the alternative country group his seal of approval.
49 straight, smoking ain't up, sipping on gin and juice, lay back with my mind on my money and my money on my mind.
Number 7, I Can't Get No Satisfaction, Devo, originally by the Rolling Stones. The idea of Devo covering the Rolling Stones is a bizarre one in and of itself. But it isn't until ears are properly tuned to the band's cover of Satisfaction that the true size of the situation can be assessed. Can you say total musical deconstruction? Well, Devo certainly can with this unique and avant-garde retooling of the Stones classic, stripping virtually all of the rock bombast from the original and replacing it with the futuristic and cold machinations.
Watching my TV and a man comes on to tell me how white my shirt could be.
The results are a weird yet no less driving take on the song. Although dyed-in-the-wool Stones fans are advised to stay as far away from this one as possible. Number 6. Billie Jean, Chris Cornell, originally by Michael Jackson. Stripping down a song to its most basic form is a popular method of covering a song, and this was exactly the method Chris Cornell followed for his take on this MJ classic.
She was more like a beauty queen from a movie scene.
Whereas Jackson's original was a cautionary tale against the dangers of groupies with super sweet bass line, Cornell drops the tone down significantly with his version.
Said don't mind, what do you mean? I am the one.
The same approach was taken by Americana duo The Civil Wars in 2011, who, just like Cornell, traded in the bass and drums for a man and his guitar style.
Billie Jean is not my lover.
This gave Cornell's version a darker and starker vibe, while his powerful vocals carried Billie Jean into a much harder rock arena. We still miss that bass line though.
But the kid is not my son.
Number 5. Style, Ryan Adams, originally by Taylor Swift. When news hit that Ryan Adams was going to be releasing a cover album of Taylor Swift's entire 1989 album, expectations were fairly high as to what he would do with the material.
Midnight, you come and pick me up, no headlights.
Predictably, Adams' 1989 is very much in the singer's established approach of emotional pop and indie rock, with his take on Swift's Shake It Off and Style serving as early standouts of his own from the record.
Long drive, good and burning flames of paradise.
Adams replaces the 80s electro vibe of Style with a jangling rock arrangement not that dissimilar from classic Bruce Springsteen.
You got that
While at the same time keeping the big melodic chorus that made the Swift original such a hit. Number 4. All Along the Watchtower, The Jimi Hendrix Experience, originally by Bob Dylan. It takes a certain special sort of cover to become better known than its original.
There must be some way out of here, said the Joker to the thief.
And that power can definitely be heard here with the Jimi Hendrix Experience as they run through an iconic take on Bob Dylan's All Along the Watchtower.
There's too much confusion. I can't get no relief.
The song is very cinematic in scope, having made appearances in numerous films and soundtracks over the years, and with good reason.
No reason to get excited. The thing they kindly spoke.
The deep production, soulful vocals, and powerful guitar work of the track send this electrified Bob Dylan original into the upper echelon of stone-cold cover version classics.
Two riders were approaching, and the wind began to howl.
Number 3. Woodstock, Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young, originally by Joni Mitchell. Joni Mitchell was dating Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young member Graham Nash when she wrote Woodstock in 1969, but didn't actually attend the event thanks to bad advice from her then manager.
I came upon a child of God.
Nash and his CSNY bandmates David Crosby, Stephen Stills, and Neil Young would include an upbeat, harder rocking version of the track on their Deja Vu album.
And I asked him, tell me where are you going? Mr. told me.
Updating Mitchell's soft and emotional folk style into the burgeoning rootsy rock movement.
We are stars,
CSNY's Woodstock is an aggressive, to-the-point road trip track, with hard drums and some slick guitar licks, making a musical snapshot for this legendary festival of peace, love, and music. Number 2. Hurt, Johnny Cash, originally by 9 Inch Nails. This cover song may have some of the most emotional impact of any on our list.
I hurt myself today.
As evidenced almost immediately from Johnny Cash's raw and ravaged vocals, brimming with passion and determination as he rips out a heart-wrenchingly brilliant cover of 9 Inch Nails' Hurt.
To see if I still feel.
This cover was one of the final releases of Cash's career, appearing on his American 4, The Man Comes Around release.
And you could have it all.
The accompanying video also serves as a moving tribute to the Man in Black. While both versions are intensely personal, Cash's death shortly after the track's release adds an extra layer to the already emotional song.
I would find a way.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Blinded by the Light, Manfred Mann's Earth Band, originally by Bruce Springsteen. Manfred Mann's Earth Band took a slinky disco meets prog approach to this Bruce Springsteen jam in 1976.
Madman drummers, bombers, and Indians in the summer with a teenage diplomat.
They took the boss's working man rock aesthetic and shined it real nice with plenty of smooth hi-hat action, bright lights, and sequins, turning Blinded by the Light into a major, if not quirky, hit.
In the dumps with the most as the adolescent bumps his way into his hair.
The band even decides to throw in a little bit of Euphemia Allen's Chopsticks melody for good measure, because why not? Of course, there's also that little bit of business about this song's chorus being one of the most commonly misheard lyrics in the world. For the record, it's revved up like a deuce. Deuce. Is there a cover song that you prefer to its original version? Tell us about it in the comments below.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.